Good morning. I was left a comment on one of my videos of what I eat in a day. And some concerns were raised with kind of what I'm doing. And I just wanted to address those concerns. I figure if one person has those concerns, maybe other people also have those concerns. So that's why I kind of wanted to respond in video format, along with, sometimes communication written communication can be misunderstood or misinterpreted because you kind of don't have all the context of body language and facial expression and things like that. So I just thought this might be a better way to respond. So first, I just want to say that I completely appreciate the comment. I understand that it is coming from a place of caring for me as a person, right? So I know that what was said was not from a point of view of like trying to tell me what I should do because you know better than me or anything like that. Just you wanted to give me good advice so that, I could be healthier. So that's kind of how I took it. So some of the concerns that were raised, one was about being hydrated and having enough electrolytes. I'm plenty hydrated and have enough electrolytes. That is something I do. I don't always add it to all of my videos. I will mention sometimes how, oh, I need to go drink another Body Armor Flash IV. That's the main way that I get my electrolytes, that and my food. So I do get those. I keep track of what I have to make sure that I'm getting enough electrolytes, particularly my sodium. I want to make sure that I have plenty of that because I can feel when I don't have enough. So I am making sure that I get my electrolytes. I drink to thirst. I don't overdrink because that just flushes out my electrolytes. But I always have something to drink with me, always. Like all the time. So I have no issues with like staying hydrated. And sometimes like if I feel like I might be dehydrated, I make sure that I'm drinking. And like if I'm gonna do something where I know I'm gonna like lose some of my liquid, like if I'm gonna be sweating a lot or something like that, then I'll have extra fluids. So I am just fine in that area. I just don't always mention it that I have it. A second concern that was raised was about taking out all processed foods, like and not eating at Chick-fil-A. Um, I completely understand that that is a better way to be healthy. That if you could really just like make your own food, make whole food, right? Not using any kind of like processed thing, that is going to be better for you. Not kind of eating out pretty much at all, that is going to be better for you. Um, I would love to be able to do that, but my life just does not. It would not be sustainable for me, and I would just be back to the way that I was eating and feeling terrible because of it. If that's how I had to like force myself to eat. So that's why I eat the way that I do. It's just this is the way that this lifestyle is sustainable for me. And I understand it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than what I had going on. I'm eating a lot less processed food than what I was eating. And I'm feeling like 1,000 times better. So I am comfortable with what I have going on, but I do understand that there is a better way to do it. This is just what I can do for myself right now. And then the other concern that was brought up, well, there's a couple, but one was about my macros, that my fat consumption is not high enough, my protein is too high, and that my carbs are too high. Um, so it was indicated to me that my carbs should be like 20 or less. Yes, that is how a lot of people live on like a keto diet. That is kind of like the baseline. They say like this is where you should go because that's what's going to like get you into ketosis the fastest and kind of like keep you there and stuff. But the truth is that we burn our the fat that we have. Well, first we'll burn the carbs. So if I'm consuming carbs, then I'm going to burn those first. And then I'm going to start burning the other foods. So it'll be any fats that I eat. That'll be the next thing, and then any protein that I eat, and then everything else will kind of like get broken down and placed in my body, mostly stored as fat, right? If it's excess. But if it's not excess, after my body goes through those things that I've eaten, it will start taking the fat from my body. And so, as long as like I'm not overeating, like my calorie count isn't too high, then I'm always going to be burning the fat in my body. And as long as my carbs are what help me feel well, because that's really my goal. My goal is not weight loss. I know the goal for so many people who are on a keto journey is weight loss. I get it. I understand. But that is not my goal. I am not trying to lose weight. Yes, it's a happy side effect, but that is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to feel better. And I know that when I was eating a ton of carbs, I was tired all the time. Now I'm like never tired. I'm always going, I'm always moving. Like I cannot sit still. We literally went to a coffee shop yesterday and we were sitting there and I'm all like jittery and like shaking and I'm like I got to get up and I got to move. So I have tons of energy, still eating, however many carbs I end up eating every day. I try to keep it around 35, but sometimes it goes higher and sometimes it's lower and it's fine because I feel good. That really is my goal. But I get it. If you're trying to lose weight, and so you want to like get into ketosis, and so you want to eat only 20 grams of carbs a day, like I totally understand. But really, ketosis does not cause you to lose weight. What causes you to lose weight is eating fewer calories than you take in. And so one part of the comment was that I don't need to count my calories. I shouldn't be restricting my calories. Well, I don't really restrict them. It's not very often that I'm like, I probably don't want to eat this because that's going to be like way more calories than I want. Unless it's just that I know like I'm not going to be able to eat that much, right? Like I'm kind of hungry, but I know I can only eat like say 150 calories. So I'm not going to eat this other thing that's like 400 calories because I am going to be too full. I'm not going to feel well. I'm not going to like it, or I just won't be able to eat very much of it. So then it's kind of a waste. Like that's the only time that I really restrict my calories. Like if, but I would like if I was started eating, say like if I ate 4,000 calories one day for some reason, which hasn't happened, but if for some reason I ate 4,000 calories, I like if I'm doing that every day, then I am going to start gaining weight and I am not going to feel great, right? So I can't just not count my calories. I can't just like not restrict them, but I don't really restrict them. But I would if I was way overeating, like because then you're not going to lose weight. You do have to know what your calorie counts are in order to maintain or lose depending on which one you want to do. And so or gain, right? Like if you need to gain, then that's okay too. I know those numbers. And so I try to stay like within that range. I make sure that my body has the fuel that it needs, but that I'm not like way overeating all the time and then not really feeling very well. So I don't really restrict my calories like that. For me to restrict my calories is pretty rare because I'm not very hungry anyway, and so I really just eat what I need each day, and it's not more than I should have. And I've lost over 60 pounds, so I am doing just fine with like counting my calories, restricting them when I feel like I need to. I am just fine. And I don't believe that you can just eat a ketogenic diet where like you're eating say high fat and moderate protein, low carbs. I don't think you can eat 4 or 6 or whatever thousands of calories a day and expect to lose weight. Like that can't happen. Like it won't happen. So if your goal is to lose weight, you do need to count your calories. Because you need to make sure you're having less than you take in, or you need to take in less than you're outputting. All right, so that was another thing. And then let's see. Oh, a part of it was talking about like not having snacks and fasting. So I do fast. I probably fast 75% of the time, just because I kind of naturally do it. Like I eat um, it really is pretty much like a 16 8-hour window. So I eat during an 8-hour window and then I fast for 16 hours and sometimes more. But it's just because it naturally happens unless, and I've mentioned this in some of my videos, unless like I've had a day or two where like maybe I did eat like really high fat, like when I went to the Mall of America and I kind of did eat lots of it, and it was processed, right? Like lots of processed foods that were high fat, and I just felt like I needed a reset. And so I made sure that I was fasting. Like that next day, I fasted to make sure. But I do naturally just fast most of the time. I usually will be done eating by like 6 p.m. And then I don't have my coffee until like 10, 11, 12, sometimes not until 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So, which will be what breaks my fast. So I do fast. Um, Fasting is not required on keto. What fasting does for you is it helps you to restrict your number of calories. So you're going to put off eating, um, and then you eat less, right? So that's really kind of the reason that intermittent fasting is part of the keto diet. But intermittent fasting really is good for you. Like it's good for your body to have that time to break down your kind of like I, I don't understand all the science of it, but from what I understand, it's like to break down the bad cells and then it changes them into good cells. But it needs that space in order to do that. So, fasting is good for you. Like it's good for everybody, whether you're on a ketogenic diet or not. Unless of course like you have special instructions from your doctor, but it is good for your body to fast. But it's not required to do on the ketogenic diet. It really is just a way to restrict your number of calories so you eat less so you lose weight. And really being in ketosis is the exact same thing. It's a way to help you not feel hungry so that you're not eating as much and then you will lose weight, right? So that's really the purpose of fasting. I do fast, but it's okay if you don't fast. I'm not one of those who believes that you have to fast if you're going to be on the keto diet. And they talk about snacking, that I should only eat 2, maybe 3 meals a day and not snack. I guess I don't agree with that. Is all I have to say. Like I said, I fast most of the time. So if I'm eating within this 8-hour window, I can just eat during that 8-hour window. It doesn't matter if I'm like eating often or eating like just big meals. And I mostly do actually eat, mostly what I eat is 2 big meals. And then like my snacks are really just, oh, I need to get some more protein in or like some more fat in. And so like then I'll eat something else kind of like in the evening to kind of like finish off my day most of the time. But sometimes I go to eat my first big meal and I'm just not very hungry. And so it ends up being a smaller meal. And then I eat another smaller meal like 2 hours later. And it's all okay. It's really just I'm fasting within my window. There's no reason for me to like restrict it more. Like okay, if I'm going to eat in this 8-hour window, I'm going to eat at that 1 hour mark, and then I'm going to make sure that I don't eat again until like the 4 hour mark, and then I'm going to make sure that I don't eat again until the 8 hour mark or whatever. Like that, it just that's not how our bodies work. It's okay that I do it that way. Now, if I wasn't fasting, yes, I do understand that it's not the best for us to be eating like constantly, to be grazing, as they have told us in the past that we should be eating like 5 small meals instead of like 3 big meals or whatever, and having, lots of snacks in between. I know that that's not what's good for our bodies. I understand that. And if I was eating differently, then I then that would be something that would probably would be a goal. No, I'm just going to eat a meal. I'm not going to have snacks in between. But it really doesn't matter for me. I am just fine. I'm eating within my 8-hour window, making sure that I get everything that my body needs in order to feel the best. Okay, so I think I have addressed all of the concerns that were presented in the comments. And like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate that you cared enough to leave a comment for me.